Hey folks, Coach Dave Daubenmeyer back coming at you here with David Arthur of I Belong Amen Ministries. What a story he has. David's a former, I call him the alphabet man.
Yeah.
Because
former LGBTQI.
All those alphabets, man. He's what it is. And we're here today doing a series trying to dispel some of the myths in regards to this. David lived 40 plus years as a woman, believe that or not. David, I think the first question that a lot of people would have, so when you got to give your testimony, they want to know that. Number one, David, were you born that way?
Absolutely not. You are not born that way. You're not created that way. You are, it's a learned behavior, a choice, a learned behavior. Not a choice as in do I want peanut butter or jelly, but a choice as in it is a learned behavior. And these recruiters from this movement go after the children who are vulnerable and looking for myself, I was looking for male affirmation, men targeted and zoned in on that and came after me. And they recruited me. What I now call molested, they called recruited. And so, no, you're not born that way. If anything, if we're born into sin, we're shaped in iniquity. But that's why Jesus said, "Be born again."
We're all born into sin, right?
We're all
Some guys are born into alcoholism. Say, I know a guy who was an alcoholic, is an alcoholic, and I really believe that he was born that way, born into that propensity to that sin. From the time he picked up his first beer, he was hooked. But God would never, folks, he would never create you in such a way that he would condemn you for the way he created you. What kind of God would that be?
Right. So, I lived in opposition to him. So there was no way he would have created me to live in direct opposition to his very intent for creating me.
So David, if you weren't born that homosexual, what the heck happened? How did this thing come about, you think?
Well, I didn't have a father in my life. Lacked a father, desired male affirmation, male attention. I was molested.
Folks, I'm sorry, David. Let me think about this, folks. Imagine that you're a 6 or 7 or 8 year old boy and you don't even know what sex is all about, and your uncle, neighbor, somebody comes along and gets down there in your private parts and does something to you that you don't know what it is, but it feels good. It feels good, and ultimately ends up in this thing. Wow, what was that? And from that point on, you're kind of hardwired that when a man does that down there, there's a good feeling that comes as a result of it. It brings about a confusion.
And even when it's not a good feeling, even though sometimes it's wrong and it's not good attention, it's attention. And to a child, attention is attention. It don't matter if it's positive or negative. A child that desires attention, the child that throws a fit doesn't care if you hug him or whoop him. He's going to throw a fit to get some attention.
But we do know, David, that these endorphins go off in our brains in the moment of climax, and football games, exciting moments. These things are going on inside our brain. And so if something happens to a young child that way, he could think he was born that way.
Absolutely.
Because he was sort of hardwired.
By 8 or 9 years old, I was looking for it.
Yeah.
I was going out. I was cutting school, going out, looking. I was hanging out in public bathrooms and at bus stops waiting for some dirty old man to come along and say, "Do you need a ride?" And then, what I started noticing, Coach, was that the male attention, the male affirmation that I desired, I was watching how women were receiving it. And so I kind of figured maybe I
need to be a woman here.
Yeah, maybe that's, I desire that attention because I'm supposed to be a girl. And so the more feminine I acted, the more attention I received. The more attention I received, the more feminine I acted. So by the age of 12 and 13, I was putting on makeup and getting caught and getting in trouble for it and running away and sneaking out. And then by the age of 14, I was just a runaway, a homeless runaway, confused, transgender teenager.
All beginning with a sexual experience of a man who had his way with you.
Yes.
But David, one of the things that you share when you speak your testimony, there are a couple people in your life, but especially your mom, who would never accept the fact that you were what you were.
Yeah, my mom never embraced it, and I'm so thankful for that, and I'm so blessed for that because she never would embrace it. She said, "I had a son, I did not have a daughter, I will not call you Paige. You will not come to my home dressed as a woman. You will not wear makeup in my house. You won't even bring that stuff in my house. And you know what? I loved and respected my mother.
And she loved you, but she didn't love the condition.
She didn't love that. No.
Don't be dragging that old dirty dog into this house, right? Don't be.
Not here. And we weren't Christian, so it wasn't like a Christian perspective. It was her. It was her by nature as a mother to not embrace that death style, that darkness.
She didn't give into that sin.
Not at all.
Folks,
and I'm blessed because of it.
Folks, this is quite a journey we're going to go here today. It's Coach Dave Dobbin and I with David Arthur. IBelongMinistries.com. An unbelievable journey into the dark depths of that alphabet, sexual deviancy, and out through the glorious resurrection of Jesus Christ. Thanks for watching. We'll be back here with another one.